Good morning. How you guys doing on this beautiful, beautiful morning? So it is good to be here on this morning. So we're going to get in here and we're going to get out. We have some old favorites that we're going to do. If you have it in your pantry, go ahead and pull it out and let's get ready to get started. Because today we're doing a full meal as well and a cake. All right. So we're going to do a chicken potato casserole. And then we're going to do the upside down pineapple cake. Well, we're going to do the cake first. Hey, Steph. Thank you for chiming in. Beautiful. Mwah! It's good to see you on this morning. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take it to the throne. Give God the glory on this morning. Thank Him for His grace and His mercy for all that He has done, is doing, and all that He is going to do. We give Him the glory on this morning. We thank Him for our families, our friends. We thank Him for keeping them, for guiding them, leading them. And we just give Him the glory on this morning. We thank Him for giving us the ability to get up here and cook something great for our family, that it be nourishment to their body. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. So, all right, so let's get started. We're going to start on the cake first and put it on in the oven so that it can be baking while we cooking our chicken. Okay? All right. Love you. Thank you. Okay, so with the upside down cake, you're going to need your butter, your eggs, the same thing, but you're going to need some brown sugar so that we can put on the bottom. You're going to need some pineapple. Now, you can do the real pineapple, where you cut the pineapple up yourself. I just went ahead and got some in the can. This is the kind I did. It has a little juice to it, and it's no sugar added. So what we're going to do is just take them out and lay them down in the bottom of the pan. And whenever you flip over your cake, that's what it's going to be looking like, an upside down pineapple cake. So you're going to need your pineapple. And if you want cherries, you can also have your cherries that we're going to put inside of the little hole of the pineapple. Okay? All right, so let's get started with, and you're going to need your eggs, your sugar, all that, your flour, all that. Hey, Rovina, my sister. Mwah, I love you. All right, so let's go ahead and melt us some butter to put in the bottom of the pan so that when we lay our brown sugar down, it will be melted, all right, in the pan. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Put a stick of butter on. Get it melting while we probably need to put more than that on. Let's go ahead and throw that 3 in, because we're going to need 2 for the cake and 1 for the bottom of the pan. Maybe this can go ahead and melt before. We'll see how fast it melts while we're putting our stuff in for our cake. All right. So let's hit it old school, which is going to be 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, all right, and your 3 eggs, 1 cup of buttermilk, and you can put the flavoring that you want in it. If you have pineapple flavor, put that in there. If you don't, put you some, whatever type of flavoring you have. I don't think it's going to make a difference, It's just going to make it taste good, whatever you put in, okay? We don't have to be too technical about it. We're just making it do what it do when we cook it to our taste, our style. Hey, honey bunny. So, all right, we're going to put 2 cups of flour. And I'm using Pillsbury self-rising flour. So this is what I'm using. Sometimes I would use the flour that has not been bleached. I'll use unbleached, which is supposed to be better. So that's 2 cups going in. And I always use self-rising, so I won't have to worry about putting all that other stuff in it, adding it. Okay, so my butter's getting good for the to lay in the bottom of the pan. All right, so 2 cups of sugar. It's going in. Now with my flour, I did it Grandma Martha style. 2 cups, 2 heaping cups of flour. Okay, so there goes my sugar. Our butter is getting melted. Now that butter there is going in the bottom of your cake pan. All right. Faithful buttermilk. One cup. Now, the reason why we use buttermilk is because it helps it to be moist. Regular milk, if you don't have buttermilk and you have sour cream, then you can do buttermilk and sour cream. And that will help it to be very moist and fluffy. All right, so we're going to make a hole, put it down in the middle like you're making biscuits. Put it to the side. All right, so our butter is melted. And let me get my pan in a minute. I'm going to cut that off. Go ahead and put my eggs in. We got 3 eggs here that we're doing. I suggest if you do not know how to break your eggs, that you break your eggs in a, use this right here and put your eggs in one at a time. So you won't get any shells in our cake pan. Sorry about the connection, y'all. Hang in there with me. Hey, Maggie, how you doing? Okay, so we're going to take our butter right here. I got my pan. And I'm going to put my 1 stick of butter all over this pan. Like that. And I might not need to use the whole stick, but this is how it's going to look. So we got the butter in there. And this is where you're going to get your brown sugar. And while I'm getting ready to get that, I'm putting in my 2 sticks of butter for my cake. So hang with me. 2 sticks of butter for my cake. Get that going. What's up, Yolanda? How you doing on this morning? I haven't seen you in a minute. It's good to see you. Okay, so we got the butter going. Getting ready to put our brown sugar on the bottom. So we're going to cut this. Now, I'm not measuring. You can put as much brown sugar on the bottom as you want. Now, this is where we get Grandma Martha style. Do it your way, to your taste. Okay? So, this is what I'm doing. Let me move this out of the way so you guys can see. We're going to mix that cake up in just a second. So, I'm taking this brown sugar and I'm spreading it all around on the bottom. Like I was saying, when we get finished, we're going to flip it over. And that's where your upside down pineapple cake comes in. Okay, so you coat all of this. Get the corners and all that stuff like that, because when you flip it over and those corners are bright, oh my gosh. Got them corners that be a little crispy sometimes. So that's what we're doing. And don't forget, we're getting ready to put in the pineapple. So we get this ready. And we're going to lay our pineapple in. Okay? So there we go. So we finished with that. I'll put that over there. Now get your can of pineapple. My butter seems like it's about ready. Turn it on. So we got a can of pineapple. We're going to take, it's probably going to take you maybe 1 can of pineapple. I'm not sure. But just take your pineapple out and start laying it down like that. Okay? And what you want to do is just cover your whole pan. Now some of them may break. That's okay. Lay it there. And I think my butter is finished for my cake. Yeah, I think we're going to only need 1 can. So we're laying it down. And like I said, if you want to put some cherries in, you can. Because I just am. I think I'm going to try to use all my... I probably should have took them out. And instead of putting my hands in here, about to cut myself. There we go. All right. So this is how mine is looking, if you can see that, for my upside down pineapple cake. And I'm getting ready to put in my cherries. Get my butter off that eye. All right. Now let's lay our cherries in. And we're just going to stick them in like that. Y'all forgive me. I am doing this home. Well, at my sister-in-law's, I'm just... Wait a minute. We got some stems up in here. Let's take them stems off. So these still have stems on them. Oh, these had stems on them. Okay. All right, so this is how it looks. There's another stem. Right here. Get that off in there. All right, so this is how yours should be looking if you want it to look that way. Okay? So we're getting ready to cut our oven on 350 at bake. And let's stir up our cake. Let's finish stirring up our cake. So we're going to stir our cake up, and then we're going to put our flavoring and butter in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this stirred up. And this is the same regular cake, homemade cake that you would make. I mean, you know, if you want to do a box cake, that's up to you. I'm not knocking it. I just like to do my stuff from scratch. a lot of my stuff from scratch. That's it. Since I put my butter and my flavoring in, now we're stirring this up. I don't know if you were able to see that or not. So, and I can't see. Hey, Rakita, I think that's Rakita up here. I can't see all of them. So we have the cake finished, and we're going to go ahead and put it in our pan. There we go. So we got that done. And now let's stick it in the oven. Let it bake. There we go. It's out the way. Now we're going to start on our chicken. Really taking this time today. Tell you. All right, so we're going to turn this on and get our chicken on in here. So I'm going to go ahead and season it and get it started. Okay, got those two cut up. And if you want to know how I'm cutting it, I'm just splitting it right down the middle. Right down the middle. Probably about 20 to 30 minutes. So, of course, this here won't be finished when we finish. It'll be all of it cooked, but whenever you want it to bubble up and, you know, real good. And let's move it around. Mine will fit up in here. Because I don't plan on staying in here too long. Okay. Alright, so we got that done. Wipe your place off. Get your other stuff in there. Water. And we're going to get ready to do the potatoes. All right. Okay, so I got my broccoli on, and I want to go ahead and put some seasoning and stuff in it as well. With a little bit of butter, oil. There we go. So the goal is to make sure we have all this done and everything in the oven so that when you're waiting on your casserole, all you have to do is just take it out and it's done. All right. Seasoning and stuff. I'm trying to straighten up as I go, because that's the goal, to make sure you don't have too much stuff out and too cluttered so you can work good. Now, I normally have a potato skillet, but I don't today. I'm going old school. So we're going to just peel these potatoes. If you have a potato peeler, bring it out. I have about 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 potatoes that I'm going to peel. Probably 4. That I'm going to peel and we're going to cut up. So make sure you have your pepper, your green pepper, your cheese, your cream, whipping cream, because we got to make our whipping cream sauce. And that is about it. So how this is going to go, we're going to slice these in circles. Not the long way, but in the circle. And then how we're going to layer it is we're going to put potatoes on the bottom, your chicken, then that you have cut up in cubes, your chicken, and then the sauce that we're going to make, we're going to spread that on. Then we're going to put cheese on top of that. Then we're going to do another layer the same way. Then you're just going to pop it in the oven and let it do its thing. Okay? Normally, I would go ahead, what I'm probably going to try to do is go ahead and boil these potatoes for a little bit so that they can come out real good, because that's what I normally do. So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to skip a process, but I want you guys to get the real legitimate feel of how long it's going to take. It's already 10:30, so we're going to get this done. Only thing you're going to be doing is taking it out of the oven after 30 minutes probably. So we're going to let it boil on high, the potatoes boil on high, probably about 5-10 minutes, because they're going to bake in the oven for 30 minutes, right? And see how much you can get done in an hour. You don't have to be in the kitchen too long. All you have to do is be in here, focus, have everything that you need. And that's it. In an hour, you'll have your meal and a dessert. Well, this part here is going to be an hour and a half, because it's going to take 30 minutes for the casserole to get like you want it. Okay, so we're down to 3 potatoes. I'm going to turn this over, my chicken. Let it cook on the other side. Go. Okay. All right, so we're on the 4th one, and we're going to go ahead and put some water in here. And let it be boiling. And I'm going to say about 2 cups of water. We'll have that in there. So this is my 4th one. And I'm going to slice them up and see if I need a 5th one. Now, I don't even have my potato peeler. So those of you who do, you probably already finished peeling your potatoes. So go ahead and slice them up in a circle and put them in there. Okay, let's start with these 4 and get my peelings out the way. And this is how we're going to go ahead and just slice them. You don't want them to be too thick. This is the consistency you want. just like that. So that they can, hey Geraldine, hey Latasha, how you guys doing? Sorry I didn't see you earlier. So that's what we're doing. We're slicing them on up. And we're going to throw them in the pot. Let them boil. Just for a little while. I find this way to help, it works a lot better for me because sometimes when you put the potatoes in there and they haven't been, you know, pre-cooked or boiled, the potatoes taste a little crunchy, you know. So this to me helps. Yeah, I think that's all we're gonna need this for. There we go. One more. And our chicken is getting done. My broccoli is getting done. Take your time cutting. You don't want no fingers being cut. All right, there we go. All right, so while we got this going and our chicken's still going, let's go ahead and clean those peelings up. Always clean as you go. That way you don't have to worry about your kitchen being all messed up and you having to do so much at the end. I'm going to get a paper bag and put these in. Let's check on our cake. Ooh, it's coming along good. So we got that out the way. Up. I'm going to go ahead and cut up our green pepper. That's if you want green pepper. Now I normally do green pepper, onions, you know. But sometimes you have people who don't eat certain things, so then you shouldn't put it in there. So these are going to go cut up real small, green peppers. And the hamburger one, if you want to use hamburger for this, oh, it's good. We did the hamburger one, but I was like, I want to try the chicken. See if the chicken tastes how the chicken would taste. So. Alright. And that green pepper was like half of the green pepper. Okay, those potatoes is getting boiled up. Turn our chicken over again. Turn it like that. and move it around just a little bit. And we should have that chicken finished in a little bit. And so that's what we're going to do with the chicken as well, is cut it up. We're going to move that to the side. And while we're cutting up that chicken, then we're going to move our green peppers and garlic and whatever else we're going to season, we're going to put in there. We're going to stir fry that a little bit. Okay? And in the meanwhile, our potatoes will still be boiling. And everything will be cooking at the same time. And by the time we get ready to do the casserole, everything will be finishing up about the same time. I love to look through mine to make sure mine is cooked. And then you can also put the top on it to make sure it's evenly cooked, like we normally do. Put that on the top. I'm going to check my broccoli. It looks like it's cooked down pretty good. I'll put some little bit more seasoning on it with some salt and pepper. Because you don't want your broccoli to be mushy. You want your broccoli to be still with not a crunch, but a little bit of resistance to it, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off and put it in another bowl. I can look at it to tell it's done. It's to how I want it to be. All right. There we go. And that's how that's looking. So we're going to cut that off. Cover that up, let it stay steaming. Put that to the side. Got that broccoli done. Most of this chicken is done. Go ahead and take some of this out. Like to make sure it's cooked. Turn that down. Because we get ready to put some of our green peppers in here. A little bit sauteed up. That smells good. And see, y'all, it's 10:43 and we about finished. And I know our cake is almost done. Chicken is done. sauteed up. Check my cake again. Oh yeah. Oh, that looks good. It smells good too. All right. Cut that off. Because those are sauteed pretty good. Now we're going to go ahead and cut up our chicken. All right. We're going to cut it up. I'm not used to I have to get in there and hold it with my hand. And y'all know that chicken is cooked. See that? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these in here. They're going to go in our sauce. As we get that done. Have to clean up. Where we mixed up. And I think by the time we finish cutting this chicken up, our potatoes are going to be good. That tastes good. Now I use 3 chicken breasts. You don't have to. Depends on how many people you feed. And what I just did just now was try to separate some of those potatoes, because when they're boiling, they will tend to stick together. And you don't want that. So you kind of have to move them around and make sure they're kind of separated. No big deal. Just move them around. No technique to it or anything. And guys, the reason why I go over this and try to make sure people understand why I'm doing some of the things that I do is because literally we have people up here that sometimes they just think they cannot cook. And this literally may be their first time or second or third time trying. So little tips like that may seem like nothing to you guys. Some guys that's up here already know how to cook, but it means the world to someone who is scared or has a little anxiety of getting in the kitchen cooking. So our thing is to try to ease that anxiety and let you know it's not that big deal. It's not a big deal. No secret techniques or anything. Just, getting in here, trusting, believing, knowing that God gonna come in the mix, and it's gonna kick in. Take your time and get it done. All right. So now those are boiling, and I think I got them to the consistency that I want. So I'm going to cut them off and just let them sit there for a second while we are getting our pan ready. All right. This is going to be our pan. Okay. So while they're sitting, and we have our whipping cream. So we just put the butter. It was a half a stick of butter. And we're putting our whipping cream in here. And then we're just going to season it up. So that's what we're doing for our sauce. We're going to be using our season. Right there's a little half. I may use, I think I'm going to go ahead and use all of it. Yeah. So see, it's the whole thing of whipping cream. All right. This is how the potatoes are looking. And we're just going to spread them all around. Spread the sauce up here. Just like that. So we're putting the sauce in. Just like that. Good. Let's get the second layer down. Potatoes. Spread them out. And if they're sticking together, just move them around, spread them out. Because that's what I'm getting ready to do. Some of mine were sticking together. So I'm going to spread them out. There we go. There. And put the rest of your sauce in. So y'all, that is it. And we're going to put that bad boy in there. After we get ready to take our cake out. Because I think our cake is almost. Clean. And then everything is done. Just wait 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes on that casserole.